Sam. It's nice to see you today.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
What brings you in today?
Well, I've got like 3 weeks left in the semester, and I'm just starting to feel extremely overwhelmed with everything I've got going on. And then, with the holiday season coming up, usually my family is like really good about hanging out and being together, but this Thanksgiving, it's kind of bittersweet. My dad's not going to be around, so we don't get to be together. And then I'm thinking about trying to get all the stuff done for school, and I keep thinking about wanting to be home and my dad not being there, and then I'm thinking about Christmas, and my financial situation isn't the best right now, and I'm just really stressed out and really overwhelmed with everything going on, and so I just needed to kind of talk about everything.
Okay. So you're just a little overwhelmed with the end of the semester, getting everything done for that, and the pending holidays, and you're a little stressed out about this home situation that you're gonna, when it comes time to go home, that you're gonna be facing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, my dad's not going to be around for the first holiday, which is, not usual for the past 20-some years. We've always been together, and it's just really, I don't even know how I'm going to react to Dad not being around for Thanksgiving, and it's not even, I don't know, it's just that's just stressing out. It's not that my parents have completely chosen to separate, but my dad's, deciding not to be around, my mom and her family for Thanksgiving, which is just so, surreal to me. And then, I'm trying to get schoolwork done, but I just keep thinking about coming home in a few days, and it's just being, so weird, and missing my dad and not having him around, and then all the stuff going on after Thanksgiving has totally got me stressed out, and I want to do really, really well, but I keep thinking about stuff at home, And then I'm thinking, my little sisters, we always go on this big, day after Thanksgiving shopping trip and all this stuff, and financially I absolutely cannot afford it, so I'm almost dreading going home even more, because Dad's not going to be around, but then we don't get to do our usual shopping thing, and I don't know, I just feel like this holiday might be more of a disappointment than anything, and I'm really dreading it.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe you're a little bit scared about the changes that are going to be occurring this year.
Yeah, I think so. I'm used to, obviously, my dad and I still talk and we still see each other, but him not being in the house is something that's going to be really, just weird and maybe uncomfortable, but I think it's just I'm not used to Dad not being around. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how other people are going to react either, which, if my sisters are taking it well, then maybe I'll take it well, but I don't think they're going to. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just very apprehensive for the whole situation.
Right. Now, have you considered any ways of possibly seeing your dad? Are you contemplating doing both at all?
I might see him for a little bit at the end of the weekend, but he's kind of removed himself from the situation by going away with his brother, spending time with his brother and his sister and my aunt and uncle. And they live far away, and he's going to spend a few days out there. So even if I do get a chance to see my dad, it won't be till the end of the weekend. I think he's doing that, as a way. I don't necessarily feel like he's avoiding us. Maybe he feels like he's making the situation better, but it almost feels like he's purposefully not around. And I would like if, at least a chance to see him, but it almost can't because my aunt and uncle live too far away, and I'm only going to be home for a few days.
Right.
So, I don't know.
So, do you feel a little left out of his plans at all, or?
I think so. Like I said, I don't think he's purposefully doing it, but I do feel like if I wanted to see him, it would be nice for him to be around, to see, but
to have the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just feel like making plans, first of all, to not even be around for Thanksgiving. It wasn't, my mom, said that she would have liked for him to at least been around for us to see him. Mm-hmm. So I know he chose not to come for Thanksgiving, but then to go to my aunt and uncle's house, and so we don't even have the opportunity to like stop by or anything. I just, you know, I don't know.
Are you feeling angry at all about that, or just kind of disappointed?
I think I'm just disappointed. You know, I'm not angry because it's probably not, you know, an ideal situation for him, and we haven't had a lot of conversations because I've been at school and my other sister has been at school, and so really the only one in the family who's seen this, you know, separation between my mom and dad has been my youngest sister, and she's a little bit more comfortable, but I think it's because she's been dealing with it. But for me, not being home for months at a time as this has started happening, it's just, you know, it's not something I'm able to deal with or talk to them a lot about or see or interact, and so that makes it really difficult.
Yeah, it's got to be adding to the stress of getting your schoolwork done, because you've kind of not been ignoring the situation, but it kind of get to like push it to the side because you're not seeing it firsthand. And now that you're getting ready to go home and thinking about it a lot, it's kind of all overwhelming you because it's hitting you all at once.
Yeah, and I have to deal with it where, you know, you don't have to go home, but once it's the holiday time, you know, you're gonna go home and there'll be winter break, and I feel like going home for Thanksgiving might, you know, it might be like more disappointing than not, and then I have to come back and try to focus for 3 weeks, and then I have to go right back home again from winter, and I don't know what to expect, you know, and so I think, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think I'm like already really worried about it,
yeah,
and stressed out about it because I just anticipated not going well.
Well, how's schooling going so far, like with all this aside?
Pretty decently, you know, nothing. I've been doing my normal amount of schoolwork, and I've been able to focus on it for the most part. But yeah, and I think that's because I haven't been home in over a month and a half, so I've done a decent job of actually using my schoolwork to distract myself from stuff going on at home.
Okay, but you're afraid that when you come back from Thanksgiving, it might be the opposite way around.
Yeah, just because it's going to be, you know, like I said, that first holiday that my dad's not around, and then, you know, you come back from Thanksgiving break and a lot of projects, and then it's finals 2 weeks later, and I just don't feel like enough time would be able to distract me again. Yeah, readjust, because then I just have to go right back.
Right.
And so, you know, this time around, I just think it might be different when I come back with the schoolwork, because, I don't know, I just don't see this next week going really well. And not even that there would be an actual situation. I honestly don't think I'm going to see my dad, and I think that might even
Make it worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now I know you mentioned with your sisters too about your normal shopping trip and being a little financially tight this year. So you're a little stressed out about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish, you know, I could have all this, you know, time to go and hang out with, and I do have the time, the actual time on Friday to hang out with them, but this year it's just not going to be our normal trip, and maybe not so much for my youngest sister, but for the middle one to come back and deal with what I'm, you know, dad not being around, that disappointment, then what we do year after year after year, not being able to do that too. I'm really afraid to disappoint her as well, but I just had to make that decision early in the semester to, you know, continue with my schoolwork and the job I have here, and you know, quit the job I had on the weekends just because I wasn't able to balance it. So by quitting that job, financially things are much different.
Are your sisters still wanting to do the trip?
Yeah, absolutely. But this, you know, no, I'm sure no one would say that they were like upset, but like we usually get lunch and then we'll go out and we'll be there all day, and, you know, and I've always been the one to buy them lunch and they get stuff in the morning, and I just feel like this time around it's just not going to be the same. And I don't want my mom to feel like she has to give us money for, you know, a little shopping trip and whatever, and my mom's mentioned wanting to help out, but I don't even, like, I feel bad enough already that she's got to do everything for Thanksgiving by herself, and I don't even want her to have to worry about the day after with us going out, but I feel like I'm going to disappoint them just as much as, you know, the whole, just to add to the situation, I feel.
So, do you think there's any way that you could just go shopping with them, maybe not like spend as much money, but just spend the day hanging out? Or like, have you guys talked about doing anything else this year instead, just so get that quality time together? Or
Yeah, we talked about actually spending, just a few hours out and about, just to do our usual thing, but then maybe going back and like hang out with Mom and helping set up and, doing some stuff, or like making cookies or hanging out.
yeah.
Which I think is definitely possible.
Yeah, because it sounds to me like maybe it's a little bit more about the quality time together than.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you've kind of like have been holding it together really well so far. You've been really strong. You've been dealing with things. I know you're a little stressed out about the pending holidays and everything coming up, but it sounds like you have a plan, and you've been doing really well with your schoolwork. So I think even though it is stressful, it's a lot to do, but I think when you come back that you'll be able to handle your schoolwork, and you seem like a really dedicated student, and I don't see any reason. But when you come back, if it was a really bad week or whatever, and you need someone to talk to, absolutely come in. We can talk about that.
Okay, that would be great. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm not so, stressed out about it. Now we'll see what happens. But it'll be all right. And I think I'm going to talk to my sister, and kind of figure out if I am feeling stressed out, because I know she's feeling the same. So,
Yeah, well, at least you have this support there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for
Thank
seeing
you.
me today, and have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you, you too.